Hello, everyone. Thank you, Kate, for the introduction and invitation. I'm really delighted to moderate the session, The Future of Pricing in the Middle East. Since ever, drug pricing is one of the most catchy, evolving topics in pharma horizon, a very dynamic area where challenges and opportunities are always epic topic. To talk more about this topic, I would like to welcome Dr. KAREEM NEGM. He is the pricing lead at AstraZeneca, who will share with us the more insights and updates about this topic. Dr. KAREEM NEGM is a seasoned professional with 17 years of experience working in multinational companies across various functions, commercial, value and access, and operations. He has since built a career around value and access, PSPs, reimbursement, tendering, customer operations also, by helping authorities and innovative substitutional solutions to include medication accessibility for patients. He is known for his ability to navigate a complex regulatory environment to bring life-changing treatment to those in need. In recognition of his outstanding contribution and dedication to improving health care access, he has received several prestigious awards throughout his career. KAREEM engaged in futuring his knowledge as they currently purchasing a master's in public health, and he is member of Pharmac Pricing Working Group also. Dr. KAREEM, the stage is yours.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you very much for the introduction, Lina. And today I will take you through a journey related to mainly the pricing guidelines and the dynamics and the trends in the GCC region. And then I will take you through the challenges and the opportunity and also in our region from the pharmaceutical perspective. So let me start with this slide. We have shared since yesterday lots of information regarding the CHE, which is the current expenditures for the governments and how it impacts as well the decision taking in purchasing any medication or pharmaceutical products in the GCC region. Here, so for the 6 countries, we can see Saudi Arabia with the highest GDP, and we can see it's around 800 billion for the GDP per capita, and the per capita healthcare spending it's around $1,200. As well as UAE, we can second in the market, which is around 421. Okay, as a GDP. Kuwait comes, and Qatar, Oman, and Bahrain. And all of this shows this slide, the objective of it, to see the GDP, the expenditure, as well as how can it impact our decision taking when it comes to a new innovators or a new brands in the region. So I will take you through around 8 elements related to the dynamics and the trends, especially when it comes to the guidelines. First, we start with the price certificate for the submission. Then it goes to the CIF price calculation, innovators drug pricing, how the generic as well as drug pricing, combination drug pricing, and different strength and pack size and pricing, public and the retail pricing, as well as the price revision. So this is the journey when it takes, whenever there is a new brand or item is registered in any health authority in the GCC region. So these are the 8 pillars that they are always, we have to check and we have to share with the regulatory authorities. So I have consolidated here mainly all the data that's related to the submission. So these are the price certificate submission, which it's depend on the IRP, which is the International Price Referencing. So all of our colleagues yesterday, they have shared, and today as well, they have shared the value-based outcome, which is, we'll come to it later. But right now, the current status is the IRP, which is the International Price Reference. So all the countries in the GCC, when you are submitting a price certificate, you have to submit these forms. So it depends. So I have here highlighted, started from Kuwait. So the Kuwait is still the highest, which is around 30 countries in the basket, which is a reference countries. Going next to Bahrain, which is, thankfully, they have changed the price certificate. It was also 31 countries. Right now it becomes 19. They have changed it last year. Then UAE is 18 countries. Oman, 18 countries, and this is a new one. Oman will implement the new price certificate to be implemented in July. Okay? And Saudi Arabia also, they have changed the price certificate, and they changed the reference country to 16 countries, I believe within the last 2 years. As well as Qatar is around 5 countries. And I will leave the floor later on for Dr. Ahmed, as well he will comment on all this. So when you are submitting the price certificate forms, there are certain data that it is needed for this submission. For example, like the public prices is needed, the X factory is needed, as well as the currency is very important. And whenever there is data that is not fulfilled, you have to share with them a declaration letter or a justification letter why this price is not available. For example, the country of origin price is not available. You have to share with the health authority that this price is not available due to 1 and 2 and 3. So this is mainly the objective of this slide, and this is the first step while the submission for the health authorities. Second, which is the innovators and how it is the pricing methodology behind this. So the pricing methodology mainly for the innovators, more or less for all the GCC countries are the same. So they are relying on the CIF prices, okay, in the country of origin. They are relying on the reference countries that in the basket, if it is available. They are relying mainly on sometimes like different countries. They are checking the lowest prices in the price certificate. Okay, for example, like Kuwait, they are checking what is the lowest. Maybe it's Egypt. It was Egypt at then. So they will select. It's based on the situation per country. But these are the main criteria they are choosing for the selection for the pricing methodology for the innovators. Saudi Arabia recently as well, this is what I know, and it's still in a draft. They are also selecting, they have to submit the HTA to the HTA body, the health economic model. So if there is like health economics, like budget impact model analysis, like cost effectiveness as well analysis, it should be submitted. But this is not yet shared, but it will be shared very soon. So when it comes to the generic part, so here I have to be clear because you will find the different numbers between one country and another. So you can see that Kuwait and Bahrain and Oman, they have around 20% a price reduction. So once the generic is there is a 20% reduction, but the calculation here is different. In Bahrain and Kuwait and Oman, we can see that 20% reduction in the price before you price the new generic. So when you start, for example, there is a generic already registered, so they will implement the 20% and 15% reduction on this 20%. Okay? While UAE and Saudi Arabia is different. For example, once the brand is there, the reduction is happening after the pricing. You got my point? I hope it's clear. So this is the difference between them. And UAE starts with 60% of the brand price. And Saudi Arabia as well, it's around 70% of the brand price. So for example, if the brand is 100, so it's 70 in KSA, as well as UAE, it will be around 60. But there is no price reduction here. The price reduction mainly happen later on when the brand is there. Okay? So I hope it's clear. Here for the biosimilars, more or less the same. So Kuwait, we have 20%. Also Oman, 20%. Saudi Arabia, 20%. And here also the biosimilars, each biosimilars which is registered. For example, 15% in the first biosimilars, second biosimilar is 10%, 10% till the fourth one. as well as Area and Oman will be the same. Saudi Arabia is different a little bit based on the guidelines. So 75%, 65%, and 55%. So this is for the generic and biosimilars, which are more or less. In UAE guidelines, it is the only mentioned thing in the guidelines is 70% happening of the approved CIF before reduction as well. So the combination drugs. So most of the guidelines is not clear enough about this point, but this is mainly from UAE as well as Bahrain. So I can share with you 3 cases. So right now, if you have an innovator A, which is and you have to add another combination, which is innovator B, what will happen in this? So they will select innovator A with the same price, with the same CIF price, and with the lowest innovator there. And this will will deduct around 10%. It will cost around 13.5 USD. This is the first case. Type. What about if there is a generic? So they will select the first innovator with the lowest generic here, okay, in the country, and then we'll calculate the combination. What about the third? They will choose the lowest registered generic for both of them. And this is the third scenario. So these are the 3 scenarios when you find the combination pricing methodology. I hope it's clear. UAE is different a little bit because they are mentioning that it is an average. They will take an average of the generic, not the lowest generic. This when it comes to a different strength and different pack size, all the countries, without exception, they have, sorry the font is small, but this is how it fits the slide. So all of especially Saudi Arabia, UAE and Bahrain, they have the 18% starting 24%, 30% when it comes to solid form, as well as the rest of the SKUs. And we have here the example between simply, to cut it the long story short for this, it's around, if the brand is around $10 and the other brand strength, for example, is 20 milligram, the first brand is 10 milligram, the second brand is 20 milligrams, so you are times 2, then you are deducting 18%. When it comes to the pack size, it will be the same idea. So you are, for example, the pack size is around 10 tablets and the other one is 20 tablets, then times 2, then you are deducting around 12% from the SKU. This is the methodology behind all the situation or all the analysis when it comes to different strength and pack size. This is one of the most important slides because this shows the profits and the margins, okay, in the markup for each country. And also I have mentioned here the exchange rate as well. And what is the methodology behind from CIF to public prices. So when it comes to Kuwait CIF prices, so they are adding around 45% to reach the public price. Okay, so it is CIF price plus 45%, and it is between the distributor and the pharmacy profit, it is equally. So this is mainly for Kuwait, this is 1.45. The exchange rate is around 0.307. When it comes to Bahrain, it's a little bit different. Bahrain and Saudi Arabia and UAE is always different. So Bahrain, we have below 20 Bahraini dinar and above 20 Bahraini dinar. The equation is 1.35 when it reaches to the public or to the public sector. So again, below 20 Bahraini dinar, we can see that the public price is 1.35 times CF currency. The higher than the 20 Bahraini dinar is 1.25, and we are multiplied by the exchange rate, which is 0.377. When it comes to UAE is for the older distributors are fixed, which is around 15%. But what we have different tiers and criteria for the brands. So brands from 0 to 150, it will be around 28% to pharmacy. When it comes to 250 to 500, it will be around 24%. When it comes to 500, it will be around more than 20% for the pharmacy price. Oman, more or less, it is around 45% and 19% for the distributor and 21% for the for the wholesaler, for the retail 26%, and the exchange rate is around 0.381.
For KSA, it differs. Again, it is like per criteria, like what we have mentioned in Bahrain and UAE. The distributor markup varies between 10 and 15%. The pharmacy markup, it varies between 10 and 20%. So less than 50 Saudi riyal, it will be, the wholesale will be around 15%. Then it goes 20% to the public price. For 50 Saudi riyal to 100 Saudi riyal, it is 10% as well as 15% for the public price. Last but not least, the higher than the 200 Saudi riyal is going to 10% and 10% for the public price. Here for Qatar, the exchange rate is around 3.64, as well as Qatar is CIF plus 40% when it reaches to the public price. The wholesale is around 19%, as well as 21% for the between the wholesale and the pharmacy price. This is one of the also interesting slide because this is, I have consolidated all the data when it comes to a pricing review. What are the situations that happens a pricing review, and we have to be, as a pharmaceutical company, we have to be alert. We have to know exactly when we are going to submit this price certificate, because of this submission might trigger a pricing review and a price reduction, especially at this time. So we have a different cases. I will share it with you, and I have also another cases that I will share it with you as well in the slide, which is the registration renewal. All the country except Qatar, there is no submission for the price certificate. But whenever there is a review or renewal, we have to submit the price certificate. The second case, which is a new formulation strength, all the companies should submit a price certificate. Okay, for all the countries in the GCC. What about the site transfer? The only country that required for site transfer is Oman. The rest of the countries, you can share with them, and also Dr. Ahmed will confirm on this, you can share with them a declaration letter or confirmation letter that no need for a price, that the price is no changes. For the MH transfer, so most of them is no need for sharing a price certificates, as well as for Kuwait, either price certificate submission or a price confirmation as well, same as the rest of the country. When a new indication, no need. For a new change in a price pack size, yes, it is needed, as well as if a generic is registered, you have to submit, as well as if there is any voluntary price change. If you are going to voluntary price change, you have to submit as well this price certificate. These are the pricing procedures, and mainly it is in the UAE guidelines, and how I will not stay too long in this slide, because this is, most of you know it, and this is how the process flow starts when you are submitting a price certificate or you are submitting your dossier. Then it goes to the drug committee, then the pricing committee, and it follows until it reaches, you have a ministerial decree or ministerial resolution is released, then it goes to the distributor and share it with the pharmaceutical industry. This is a key point to be shared, and this is like a trend, okay? This is also my reflection to the last period, which is the renewal happened after the 5 years. Whenever you are submitting a price certificate in all the GCC, it should be the renewal after 5 years. Here is the second point, which is very important, then this is only in UAE, that whenever you are submitting for a price certificate in UAE, especially for a new brands, or the reference countries are not there yet in the basket countries, you have to submit a price certificate every 6 months. So every 6 months, till when? Till 18 months. So every 6 months you have to submit a price certificate. Whenever there is any incomplete price certificate was submitted in the beginning. Second point, which is the EDE, which is the Emirates Drug Establishment. I believe many of you know it, some maybe not know about what is this is a new also body. It will be implemented very soon in Q2, as I heard it's around June or July, and also it will take care of the regulations and also part of the bigger umbrella in UAE. So Kuwait also, what I heard in the Pharmag meeting, it held around 4 or 5 months back, which is they might change the price certificate, and they are looking forward to improve and also to simplify the process and to make it more or less similar to the Gulf region. When it comes to the event increase of price for the events in the price increase as well, the new modified price shall be applied 2 months as the date of approval issued in this regard. Last but not least, the GHC have released its own price certificate. No one knows up till now what is the progress, what will happen, how it reflects, how it going to impact the pharmaceutical business, when it will be used. Nothing is there yet. So hopefully in our next meeting or our next discussion, they have more information about this part and to share it with you. Last point here in this slide, which is the appeal, is 2 times each appeal is granted for 30 days, and this is happening mainly in most of the GCC countries. The main challenges, also opportunities from my perspective, some requirements from health authorities may delay the process of the registration process when we are applying for the price certificate, and there are certain elements needed in this part. Sometimes it delays the registration process. Price harmonization, which is a very important part, and sometimes you receive all of a sudden that these prices are unfortunately should be reduced by a certain percentage based on the prices in the Gulf countries, the budget constraints in health authorities, and the voluntary price reduction for the innovators. And this is also points for the generic, because once you are voluntarily reduce the prices for the innovators, the generic, unfortunately or sequentially, it reduces its prices. So this is also one of the challenges for the generic brands. The opportunities that how can we incentivize the innovators more for the health authorities, and all our discussion especially the last 2 days, that how we are going to move from an IRP modeling to the value-based one. So, because it might, as you see right now, that all the health authorities are moving towards the value-based. So, in order to optimize the resources, in order to financially to be better, to cutting cost, all of this. So most of them, they are looking for the value, and it might happen very soon. Digitalization, of course, artificial intelligence is very important. It might help as well the authorities and the pharmaceutical company to have a better pricing and outcome. So by here, I end my slides. I'm very happy, I'm very glad to be with you, and I'm listening for your questions. Thank you.
Presentation, an informative one. Moving forward, I would like to invite and welcome Dr. Ahmed HUSSEIN from the Pharmacy and Drug Control Department from Qatar. Dr. Ahmed is a pharmacist. Dr. Ahmed HUSSEIN has more than 25 years of experience in different fields of pharmacy practice. He has presented many papers in international scientific conferences and published an original research article in reputable journal. Dr. Ahmed also has his research experience through a master program in Queen's University in United Kingdom. His research interests are in the areas of patient safety and pharmacy practice. Dr. Ahmed. We would like to start with Dr. Ahmed. I would like to ask you about the pricing methodology used in Qatar market.
Assalamu alaikum. First of all, I would like to thank the organizing committee, and thank you also to LINA for a nice introduction. And I'm very happy and glad also to be part of this discussion and this summit, which include all expertise from different countries in the GCC. It's my honor to be part of that. And regarding the process process and methodology of pricing within the Department of Pharmacy and Drug Control Department, it is not far from the other GCC country for sure. And actually we are implementing and following and abiding with the guidance of the GCC registration, including the pricing process. Let us make it maybe in categorizing in different type of product which is being submitted to us for pricing. The first step for the product which is being submitted, or the pricing request which is being submitted for new medication or new molecule for registration. It could be generic product or innovative medication. For the innovative medication, as Dr. KAREEM also, thank you for the wonderful, presentation, which I think you shed a light for most of the things which need to be discussed now. For the innovative medication, we are following, as I mentioned, the GCC guidelines or the guidance, as he showed by Dr. KAREEM, is, we refer to the pricing, which is, the unification of the, GCC pricing, which is starting in 2013, which is, because of the countries they are not far from each other for the purpose of supply, and the company is not going to, have add-on cost from one country to another because they are not far from each other. So they agreed to have unification of the pricing, which is, to be in dollars, to avoid the rate of exchange, and should be the same from all the GCC countries, to ensure that the same price to be submitted for all the GCC countries, the first step. And for the profit or the markup of that, we adding 40%, and for the total to be for the retail, as the pharmacy, for retail price, which is divided into two parts. The first part, which is 15%, 15% means this 15% will goes as a whole price for the wholesalers, and 25 for the market, for the pharmacies, for retail pharmacy. This is for innovative medication. In case of generic, if the submitted application for generic, it will be given the first generic, categorize them into first, second, and third generic. The first generic will be given like 35% less than the actual innovative price, and the second will be 45%, and the third onward, fourth, and the others will be 55% less than the actual price of the innovative medication. This is the first step or first type of application we applied for the new medication to be registered as new molecule. In case of, for example, if the medication, the pricing is not being convinced by the applicant, he could apply for appeal. And if the appeal for innovative medication, we could be many discussion with them, but we inform them that it should be followed as a GCC pricing. If it is registered centrally, they're supposed to go to centrally in order to discuss, because we are our team also part of the GCC, central registration. For changing the price, maybe sometimes after like 5 years, or maybe during the, the medication which is being registered, sometimes there is certain issues, which is affecting the price, such as like those which is man-made, whatever happening, due to some time of constraint, increase the cost of price, or due to insurance or costing increase the insurance or increase the freight, they might ask also for that, and this will be considered case by case. This is like, I think this is a very high overview of what is going on in our pricing process.
Yes, thank you very much, Dr. Ahmed, for providing this overview about the pricing methodology in Qatar. I would like to open the floor to the audience to ask.
Good afternoon, everybody. Actually, it's very informative session regarding pricing, but actually, I want to hear your opinion and I know you are expert in pricing. So in worldwide, we have a two model, open from up and open from down. Open from up in the pricing and open down in the competition. So the market will calibrate the price. And there is another model. It is capped from up and capped from down. So you have a price margin that you cannot make any dumping in the price. So in our GCC, we are locked from up, open from down. So if you have an opportunity, you cannot increase your price above the public price, but actually when you go to the market, they can squeeze you to the maximum and give the free goods and discounts to the maximum. So why we don't use either closed system, so you can capped from down, let's say, see a regulation and applied on the market that the maximum free goods. And I think in the Egypt, maybe they are applicable, that they make a constraint about discount and free goods in the market. What's your opinion? Why we use a hybrid model, closed from up, you have a ceiling price, and open from down? Thank you.
This question to me? Yeah, it is very simple and very complicated, you know. Yeah, I think those who you know, who develop the pricing process, and for sure they are expertise and they know more than me. Me, maybe from my side, maybe I have like kind of personal insights, something which relate to the down of the ground of implementation and the process of that. For sure, I think they are thinking about, they have some kind of thoughts about how it's going to be. But yeah, you are right when you say that they cover from the top, but maybe at the lower level it is not being, you know. But as per my experience, what I'm seeing, can see, even at the lower also it is not that open, you know, because this is, unless maybe something which is some cases, yeah, but normally it's going on with not, you know, having like that discount was, which you are, I noticed that maybe you are worried about this kind of things, you know. But as far as I know, it's not that much happening. But I think this is also good observation. Could be maybe considered with you know, with pricing. Maybe for us, we are planning also to improve our the service of pricing, and planning maybe to have during the coming months, would like to have a kind of improvement, to have a separate window for pricing, for appeal, and for pricing process. And we are planning also to consider many of the things which is, you know, we feel that is kind of obstacles or kind of things which is not going as expected, in order to have kind of improvement. Thank you. I hope that, yes.
Thank you, Dr. Faisal, for the question. Let me share with you my perspective from the pharmaceutical industry. First, I'm based here in UAE and not in Egypt, so I don't know what is happening in Egypt, unfortunately. But from the pricing perspective for the pharmaceutical companies, whenever we are starting our launch process for any new item, we have a recommendation and we have guidelines that shared by the global team for our pricing strategy based on the brand and the R&D and lots of homework that it's done behind how we are going to have to implement our pricing strategy, not only globally, but also to be customized here in the region. So this is how it usually starts. So again, I have to share with them what is the market landscape, what is the competition, what is the competition looks like, what is the market looks like, what is the payer perspective, what is the economical situation. The GCC country considered one of the highest socioeconomic countries. So this is why maybe the prices are a little bit compared to the region, maybe higher. So, and as you have mentioned, that when it comes to the tender level that they have already shared, all my colleagues, that the prices really become very squeezed, and all of the discussion goes towards cost minimization models, which is the price reduction. And you have a point here, but this is the current situation, and this is why when I have discussed this point, that most probably that Saudi Arabia will be always as an innovator, and they are starting with the new models that they are going to implement, how the value-based outcome will help in this. I believe that will help the situation. And answering back your question, I hope I answered your back. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Kareem. Any other questions from the audience? Okay, let's move to the next question. The harmonization. Dr. Kareem, in his presentation, gave us an overview about the harmonization of the pricing in the GHC countries. So this initiative took place in 2013. After a decade of this initiative taking place, and from your experience and involvement, how do you see the situation of drug pricing structure in Gulf markets?
Yeah. Yeah, thank you for this question. But as I mentioned before, partially I reply to that while I'm replying to him, because this is, those are very expert people. They went through tedious process in order to reach this harmonization for different things which is shared between them. I mean the GCC countries. But for me, as personal opinion, yeah, harmonization is very important. And if you notice that always now or during the days, many international regulatory bodies are talking about harmonization. Harmonization always is good. It helps a lot. And followed by collaboration. And this is one of the collaborative work. The collaboration also is very important. To solve different problems at different levels with different sides and different parties. And harmonization and collaboration, and also we are hearing also nowadays reliance. Most people, most regulatory bodies and healthcare settings, they are trying, and regulators namely, they are trying to rely on each other in order to save many things. I think if you took it let me take it to the other party, the other side from the companies, once they have kind of harmonization and reliance and collaboration, it is very good for them. Why? Because they decrease the burden for them. Like, for example, if any company or anybody, regulatory body would like to visit those, sites in order to ensure that they are doing the job as expected, as per the standards and guideline, once I have a group of harmonized areas or like such as this in the GCC or maybe in the EMA, or other maybe CRP, stringent regulatory bodies, WHO, is minimize a lot of things and saving many kind of resource, and also avoid duplication of the work. And because those manufacturers, they are the ones who's going to pay the expenses of that kind of visits and that kind of things, which is being going repeated, and even they are disturbing them every time. But once those being minimized, reduced, it is very good for them, and even also this reduces the cost, affecting also the cost of pricing of the things. For this, I think having this kind of harmonization, collaboration between the GCC and those which are almost the same regulatory system and healthcare system, which is very good. And also, don't forget, it's not going to add more, budget or more cost once they are planning to send their goods or the products to those countries, because they are adjacent and near each other. That means no more cost going to be added to the cost. For this, having unified price is very also easy for them to take many burdens among what's going on. Like in the presentation which Dr. Kareem mentioned, that because as he mentioned that, like sometimes, many things due to, if it's not harmonized, might affect maybe some kind of other costs in grasping some slides like that, saying like this. For this, even sometimes they have voluntary decrease in the price for some, innovators, Although it's on the other hand, making some kind of challenges, but at the same time, this shows that means, once you have something established, is stable for supply, and no increase in the rate of the currency, it is very good and help both sides from the regulatory perspective and for the companies. And at the end of the day, our target is patient-centered care. We need this medication to be available for patients with a good quality and with accessible price, easy to be accessed. For that, I do support harmonization and unification of pricing.
Thank you, Dr. Ahmed. What about the challenges? In terms of harmonization, is there any challenges upon preparation of the harmonization of the pricing policies? And what's your practice and experience in this part?
Yeah, for sure there is many challenges, which is being displayed here also in his presentation, even like something which is good, but sometimes can consider as a challenge. For example, if the innovative companies are reducing the price, which is good, but at the same time create other challenges for the local manufacturing or for the generics, which is being registered. Because for them also, they supposed to, as pricing, we're supposed to reduce, the price with them as the innovative price is being reduced. This is, I think, also is a challenge. This affecting, especially for, the generic, most of the product which is manufactured in the region are generics, For this one, the innovator being reduced, also they are, they should reduce also the price, For this, then this we have like two things. To reduce the price, one of the big challenge for the generic medical products, which is manufactured locally also, and at the same time, the timing of implementation of that reduction of the price. It is another challenge also, like complexing the process. But the good thing also that to overcome this kind of things, the implementation is always like what we are doing in the pharmacy department in the state of Qatar. We are giving a grace period in order to implement. We will not make it also sudden, like what you mentioned, for sometimes might happen to be implemented was sudden, which is very big challenge, What's going on? We are, giving a grace period in order to let the company prepare themselves in order to go for price reduction, This is, I can see this is the two top challenges for harmonization of course there is many others, but this I think which is the things which we are facing, at the top challenges we are facing during the pricing and implementation of the pricing. I don't know if Dr. KAREEM maybe you have something to add.
Thank you, Doctor. You covered it all already. As you have mentioned, that this is the most painful decision when it comes to that. Whenever any company receive a notification that they have to implement immediately the new price change. Yes, and we have highlighted this when it comes to the generic part, but as you mentioned, Dr. Ahmed, that it's better to receive a communication, to have a type of communication that we can anticipate and can mitigate this risk, and how can we have the right elements behind it in order to have a win-win situation and the proper communication between the authorities as well as the companies to maintain and to have also the patient accessibility, because it might affect, I have witnessed some cases that it might affect the availability of the brand. And they might, for example, say that, sorry, we cannot maintain with this price, we have to either divest it or it will be supplied in this timing. So I believe the communication, this is a very important decision, and we are always aligned with the GHG and also all the price harmonization with all the health authorities, but the communication when it comes in the proper time with all the delegates and the stakeholders, I believe this will be an optimum solution for both. Thank you.
Yeah, for sure, I agree. Yes, you know, like always, this is kind of collaboration, you know, win-win for both sides, you know, because at the end of the day, our target, we know our target, you know, is very important, you know, for having this kind of collaboration and transparency, supporting each other, considering what's cost and raw materials. Maybe during the COVID is a very good example. You know, the raw material was shooting very high, and for us also, for some cases, we try to help and support the companies in order to increase the pricing for them because of these issues. Always, you know, if there is a valid reason, you know, even for the any harmonizing pricing, they are being considered also, because also at the end of the day, we know that they are not doing something for free. For sure, if they don't have like kind of, you know, good income, they cannot have innovative medication in future. How's the innovative medication being done? Being done due to that profit in order to encourage them to go for innovative medication for helping the human being as general. Thank you.
So it shall be a win-win strategy, I believe. A partnership, yes. So I would like to invite again the audience for any other questions related to harmonization topic. Any questions? Okay, thank you. Okay, final question. Okay. We are eager to know more about the future plans related to collaboration between regulatory bodies and the industrial sector. Maybe you told us, or you presented for us some insights now. If you have any further additions, please.
In addition, yes, thank you for this question, also very important. In addition to what I mentioned, like we are trying also to have a separate window for pricing. Actually, we have dedicated team for that, dedicated committee for that, but we need to have a separate window which is being accessible for our applicants in order to make it easy. Because nowadays they are applying it within the dossier, within the, you know, inside it, and then they need to wait after that. Because for us, I don't know, 2 days ago I presented the process of registering of medication. The registration of medication with the dossier, they need to apply for, online and submit samples, and CIF certificate will be in the same documents. But our plan, which is need to make it easier and make it, you know, we have special consideration for it, would like to have a separate window for that, to apply it separately, and to make it easier for, you know, our applicant to understand and to follow the pricing of their products. This is our plan, to digitalize form, which is online to be submitted and easy also to be tracked. This is what we are planning to do in near future. You know, and also you know, we think about, you know, having like kind of any other you know, opinions which is coming from the companies, if they feel that maybe the process need to be like changed, or accepting any kind of ideas which is helping us to make the process easier for them, for applying and implementation and follow-up. Thank you.
Thank you, Doctor. Thank you, Doctor. I have no further questions.
Okay, by this, we will end this informative session about the future of pricing in the Middle East. Thank you, everyone, for your contribution and for your attendance. And we will move for the next session.